All right, my Quad Squad, how's everybody doing? It's the man, the myth, the legend, Quad MFT here, coming back at you guys with another CSGO video. Now, in this video today, we're actually going to be covering the brand new update. The brand new update that just came out a few hours ago on CSGO. Now, if you guys haven't updated, I would suggest you guys start, even though it really doesn't take that long, but definitely start it up and check it out because it's a pretty cool update. So the first thing that you guys are probably most interested in is the brand new CSGO case, the Gamma 2 case. You guys can check out some of the other videos on my channel that I've already uploaded, as well as I'll link some down in the description below. And I also have an opening going up fairly soon when I'm going to pull off my Twitch stream, because I opened up a bunch of cases over on my Twitch stream with Riley. So like I said, we have a lot of stuff going on with the Gamma 2 cases. You guys can see those videos down on my channel or link in the description, both things. So that's the first thing, is they added the brand new Gamma 2 case. And again, this is the update for August 18th, 2016, 1.35.4.6. Here's also what it does. If you guys want to read in depth and not just have me read it out to you guys, you can go ahead and check this Reddit post. I'll link it down in the description below. For the servers, for you guys who live in Peru, you're in luck. They actually added official game servers in Peru, so I'd imagine that your guys' ping, if you do happen to live there, is going to be significantly better. So congrats on that. That's probably a really, really big thing for you guys. I know it would suck not to have a server where I live, although there's thousands everywhere. So the next thing is for the spectators, player X-ray glow now dims when the player is not making any audible sound. Several convars are available to tweak this behavior. Find spec glow for a list. So what I think that has to do, I actually read a few replies regarding this. I don't know if they were trolls and I'm just really stupid, but I could be, so don't take 100% of my word for it, because it could just be really, really dumb and accidentally lying to you guys. I think this kind of affects Overwatches. I see people saying this is a huge thing for Overwatch cases, saying that it needs more attention and all these things, that how it's going to help the community and improve Overwatch, which is really, really exciting. So I think for some reason it makes it so when you can't hear people, when there's no audio, you know, when they're not making footstep noises or cocking back their gun or pulling it out, chucking a nade, whatever it is, apparently it's going to slightly dim their glow, so you can tell if a player actually heard that person and knew that they were around that corner, instead of just automatically assuming that they were wall hacking, or always assuming they were hearing them when in reality they were actually wall hacking. You know, it goes on both sides of the spectrum. So that's actually a huge update, and I really do expect that they're going to do a lot more with that, and I really love seeing improvements to Overwatch, because guys know I love doing Overwatch. It's really, really fun catching some stupid little cheaters. The next one says, in Miscellaneous, it restored the availability of CL Avatar Convert RGB command used by tournament organizers. Whatever that means, I'm sure it was positive, or I hope it was positive at least. And for the Linux operating system, they actually fixed a bug where some users would have a bad mem level set, which would cause poor performance. So if you guys happen to play CSGO on Linux, which I'm assuming less than 1% of you guys do, way less than that, it's now improved performance. So there you go. Your mem level is now improved. I don't know what that means, but still, that's pretty cool if you play on Linux. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I understood Linux, and I'll probably figure out something in the future with that. But either way, for the sound, the thing that you guys have all been waiting for, they increased the fidelity and reduced distortion, basically made these weapons sound a lot more realistic, and in my opinion, they sound pretty cool. You know, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think the P2K sounds a little bit weird. I don't dislike them though. You guys always say in the comments, holy shit, I fucking hate the USB. I fucking hate how they ruined the MP9. They ruined this. They ruined the P90. They ruined my favorite guns. Why would you change the Negev? It sounds like trash. It sounds like a fucking thing banging on another a fucking kitchen ornament. What is it? What the hell's a kitchen ornament? I don't know. But people always relate it to the stupidest things and say they sound shitty. But like I said, they changed it for the Glock, the P2K, the USPS, and the Deagle. They also, for unique distant reloaded, and they changed reload and draw sounds for the Glock P2K, USP, and Deagle. If you guys want to listen to all of those right now, go ahead and do it. All right, so personally, I think the USP sounds so sick. It literally sounds like I'm James Bond, bro. Like, I can imagine, oh my God, bro, I can imagine Shox just getting an insane 5K. I can imagine him acing the entire team, 5 bullets, 5 headshots, and those little suppressed shots of the USP just... Oh, that would be music to my ears, man. I can't wait for that, because that'll happen. Of course, he's going to hit a fucking ace. Shock is shock. He's insane with the USP. But still, they also changed the Deagle. Deagle didn't sound too much different to me. I don't really hate it too much. Glock sounded a little bit like a kind of a more manly, I want to say, P250 that they recently changed. And then for the P2K, I thought it was going to stay somewhat similar, because for the noises of all the guns in CSGO that they've been changing recently, they've, for the majorities, kind of stayed in that zone where it sounded somewhat similar. But the P2K was completely changed. Completely changed. Like, it's weird. It really is weird, but I like it. And a lot of you guys are probably going to go ahead and tell me, and some of you guys are saying, oh, they're changing all the guns. They'll never change the op. Why would they fucking change the op? Why would they change the AK? The AK is a classic in Counter-Strike. They're never going to touch the AK. The community would revolt, and we would stop playing. No, bro. They're going to change the sounds. I don't know if they're going to change the AK or the op. I do know that they'll change the M4A1. Now, here's my theory why. I actually had one of the guys, shout out to my boy Vel, he actually told me this theory, and it totally makes sense. What happened was when they changed the USP, which they just changed today, which we predicted. I predicted that in my last video, and I predicted the one before. It's really easy to predict, but still, the USP has a suppressor. What other gun in the game has a suppressor? It's starting to click in your head right now, I bet. The M4A1. So if they change the way the suppressor sounds in CSGO, even if it was just with the USP, why wouldn't they change it with the M4A1? You can have 2 inconsistently sounding suppressors right now, which that's what we have right now. The USP with the suppressor, which of course it sounds weird. And again, the USP without the suppressor also sounds really weird. You guys saw that too, but still, like the USP and the M4A1, both silenced guns, they sound way different. And they did just change the USP. They're probably going to change the M4A1. So still, I think that sounds pretty cool. I think that's exciting to hear that they're going to change the main rifles and the main guns in CSGO. It's going to be really, really cool. I can't, bro, I can feel the hate. I can already feel the hate of people without even hearing the noises of the op and the AK already complaining. It's going to be cool. I think the guns are going to sound a lot more realistic. I think it, to be honest, even if it's just something so small as the sounds of guns, I really think kind of adds a little bit of spice, something to talk about in CSGO. Like, oh man, even if you say it sucks, it's something to talk about. It's something a little bit new in CSGO, because in CSGO, you can't always be going around and changing a bunch of shit. People get fucking furiously mad. I'm surprised they got away, even though I do think it was a positive thing, got away with slightly changing the sprays and making tapping a little bit better. I think the majority of the community liked it, but I'm surprised they got away with doing such a large change so easily. So even just something as small as gun sounds, barely even changing, I think it's fun, and I think it's good for the community, and I like how they sound a lot more realistic and look pretty cool. So let's cover the rest of it. Again, I like all the new gun sounds. P2K sounds a little bit weird, but still, they sound pretty cool, and Deagle doesn't sound very different, but still, it's nice to see a little bit more realistic gun site where you can find out a lot about items, is actually filling in details on the new Gamma 2 case items here, so I guess you guys can go ahead and see everything there if you already haven't clicked my video, but I suggest you click my video because it'll show you guys visuals on everything. Strings for the new Gamma 2 case items and script changes for the Glock P2K USB Deagle sound changes. That's also linked over on the article down in the description below on Reddit. And also they said if you're intending on reporting issues, don't be afraid. If you know you're the only one, which again, I stress that in a lot of my update videos. It's true, man. Really, if you're having a weird ass little glitch that for some reason like causes your game to crash or something goes wrong that you don't think anybody else is having a problem with, you really don't know. To be honest, there was a thing that was going on where Riley would randomly scroll really fast on my mouse because she plays on my setup and I play on another, blah, 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 whatever. She would scroll really, really fast right at the end of the round and it would kick her. And she did it like 4 times and I was like, finally, Riley, wait. You're scrolling really, really fast at the end of each round. Try not. And she did it, and it stopped, and she stopped getting kicked, and then they fixed it. So all was well, but then I actually read a few people on Reddit who were also complaining about the same thing. How ironic. You think that would be such a unique thing that, not everybody's going to scroll really fast on their mouse wheel right at the end of every single round. So it's weird, but, things happen. So go ahead and report it over anywhere. And again, Reddit is a great place to do it if you happen to think that something's going wrong, and there's a slight chance that somebody else will probably have it in common. There's actually a good chance somebody else will have it in common. You'd be surprised how many people read Reddit, especially with the global offensive one. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think that's basically everything for the brand new update that came out today. If you enjoyed this video or just want to support it in general, make sure to click at that thumbs up button down below, and make sure you guys subscribe and join the Quad Squad if you haven't already. We're working our way up to 120,000 subscribers. That's kind of the next little milestone. I like keeping up. We just hit 111K, which is so cool.